What is going on, Buff Nation? Welcome back to another video. We have some breaking news here. Colorado and Coach Prime landed themselves another commit out of the transport. We're going to talk all about that. Massive news, but Alabama has found their new head coach. Mr. DeBoer out of Washington, the head coach from Washington, is taking his time and his efforts and moving it down to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Absolutely huge. We're going to talk all about it, give you my thoughts and opinion. But first order of business, let's talk about the recruit Coach Prime just landed. Play my theme music. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video. So just today, they landed themselves. He's labeled as an edge/linebacker. So my assumption here is he is replacing the loss of DJ Lundy, linebacker from Florida State, who did commit to Colorado. I think signed as well, but I digress. And then flipped himself back and headed back to FSU. So Nikhil Webb Walker, 6'6", 255 pounds, out of Jamaica. I love it. Vezza Bay, stud here, big time stud. Now again, at high school and at New Mexico State, was more labeled as the edge position. Even if you're watching his film right now, you will see that he is obviously coming off the edge a lot, which I would see more so probably playing outside linebacker alongside the edge at Colorado. But on ESPN, he is labeled as linebacker, but if you take a look at his PFF ranking, he is listed underneath the edge rusher. So again, those kind of positions are interchangeable, just in case anybody was wondering. If you look around at kind of some people have him labeled as an edge rusher, some have him labeled as a linebacker. I believe they are bringing him in probably to be a combination of both. Again, that replacement for DJ Lundy, which will be placing them at 80 scholarships now, okay? We're also going to be discussing some Alabama talent that has hit the portal, but it's a wide receiver, and I think wide receiver-wise, Colorado's probably good. But Nikhil Webb Walker, taking a look at his PFF grade, a little bit of a downgrade from the year prior, but his freshman year didn't play as much as he did in his second year. If you take a look at his run defensive grade, again, comparing him to other edge rushers, 292 out of 851. Again, nothing splashing off the page there, but a 70.8 defensive grade, a very healthy grade. His overall grade, though, puts him at a 63.2, and the pass rush at 55.6. Now, headed into the Big 12, it's a very high passing offensive league, so definitely need to turn that up a little bit because running the ball is not something that the Pac-12 knows how to do. No, they still run the ball, but again, something to kind of keep in mind there. But you are adding a position of need. Again, linebacker, edge rusher, they've got about 9. I think we talked about this in another video, but linebacker play is definitely a place of need. And saying that 6'6", 255, and you, again, watching his film, he's got some speed. He has some track down speed, cutting some angles with some help. Again, no news on defensive coordinator yet, but whatever defensive coordinator comes in, we'll see how it applies. So great, huge pickup here for Colorado. Nothing to get splashed off the page, but a depth add nonetheless. So great stuff. The wide receiver that is coming from Alabama is Isaiah Bond. He is Art Bond. He is currently projected to Texas. So again, I don't think Colorado needs any more wide receivers. Some of those secondary pieces, safeties, there's some cornerbacks that could be entering in as well. Maybe some offensive linemen. That's where Colorado probably needs to jump on it and see what's happening there. With the coach being hired, I now expect some more dominoes to fall, probably from Washington, but more likely from Alabama, because now they know, okay, this is who's coming in. Not a big fan of what style he runs. Not a fan of what happened at Washington. I'm out. So it's going to be busy over the next few days. So be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. Now, something, again, I spoke about this yesterday, where if Norvell were to get the job, could Coach Prime possibly end up at Florida State? Some people are unhappy with me pushing this narrative. Look, I'm simply just having a dialogue. But then Stephen A. Smith doubled down today, saying that he should be the head coach of Alabama. Here's my thought on this process. Watching this thing kind of unfold, and I even said this, I was thinking about this, of Alabama not really being this job that people are wanting to go and get. Texas A&M was one of those things of like, look, sure, there's money. Sure, it has this prestige of being a big time school, but with where the college football landscape is heading, with 12 teams having the possibility of making the playoffs now, you open the door to a lot more people. And I think Dan Lanning, Sarkisian, and Norvell, they all came out and said, I'm sticking with it, I'm riding here. I think this appeal that, oh, it's Alabama, everybody wants that job. No, nobody does. Nobody wants to leave to go into an unknown territory in a world where the NIL is the Wild Wild West, where the playing field has leveled out a little bit. The rich are still getting rich to a certain extent, but people are kind of it's a new wave, a new culture seems to be taking over college football. It's like, no, I want to stay where I'm at and I want to build where I'm at, because now 12 teams can make the playoffs. And that's all I need to do. Once I make the dance, anything can happen. And now that there's so many spots, you don't have to put yourself into what is the SEC or the Big Ten to have a really tough schedule and make sure that you just grind out for 12 games to make it. What's the advantage now of going to Bama? You're gonna get your teeth kicked in for 12 games, grind it out, work for a hell of a fan base. It's gonna be unhappy with any way you piss, right? No matter what direction you're going in, if it doesn't look the way they want it, they're gonna be unhappy. For what? There's 12 spots available, right? Why not stay here where I'm loved, where I'm appreciated? I'm able to build my own culture, i.e., Coach Prime in Colorado. It makes a lot of sense, and he keeps kind of beating that drum. And look, I think Colorado should be very excited. And again, of Coach Prime not going anywhere. And I think a lot of schools that are comfortable with their coaches think coaches starting to realize like this hopping around thing isn't what it used to be. I need to stay here, build a culture, and dig my heels in because that's more appealing to these kids, especially with guys hopping around constantly. You don't want to, because you hop and you leave a school, you're coming into a dumpster fire. Those kids can leave you and leave you high and dry. And now you're playing behind the 8 ball. This Washington head coach, for example, right? DeBoer, he's headed to Alabama. He shows up. Those guys, he sits down at the lunchroom table. They all get up and leave. Well, the portal's closed. There's nobody else out there to get besides the Bama players that just left. So he could go from 0 to 0 really quickly and find himself in a stage of a rebuild. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that is the risk. Anytime that you take a chance of taking on a new head coaching job, you could show up with nothing to work with, especially on the timing of when you step into that head coaching role. So very interesting, thing that's unfolding here in college football landscape. It's been fun to watch. It's been a blast. We'll see how this domino affects the rest of college football. Again, with guys entering to the portal from Alabama, we'll be keeping our eyes on it. So be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. But great pickup here on Nikhil Walker out of Jamaica and New Mexico State, of course. So smash the like button, subscribe, turn the bell on, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.